Welcome to the AJ Sports Show. Today I give you a little review of college football's Week 10 and NFL's Week 11. So let's just blitz for some of these. So I'm going to just do a little quick recap, more quicker than I do normally. I'm not going to go too depth into detail much of these games at all. Let's just do this. Boise State crushes San Diego State 56-24. Oregon blows out Michigan 38-17. Georgia had a big second half against Florida 34-20 to win that game. Ohio State beats Penn State 20-13. James Franklin cannot beat the big boys still. Miami had a huge fourth quarter to beat Duke 53-31. Tennessee beat Kentucky 28-18. South Carolina blows out Texas A&M in a 44-20 upset. Texas Tech won on a nail-biter over 11th ranked Iowa State 23-22. Louisville got the best of Clemson 33-21. IU continues their run, blows out Michigan State 47-10. Houston upsets Kansas State 24-19. SMU blows Pitt out of the water 48-25. Ole Miss blowing out Arkansas 63-31. Army beats Air Force 20-3. And Minnesota beats Illinois 25-17. So the first week of the college football playoff rankings came out. Oregon's number 1, Ohio State 2, Georgia 3, Miami 4, Texas 5, Penn State 6, 7 Tennessee, Indiana's at 8th, BYU is 9th, Notre Dame 10th, Alabama 11th, and Boise State 12th. Some other notable ones: SMU is ranked 13th, Colorado's 20th, Washington State's 21. Army's ranked 25th. Missouri's still ranked somehow. So those are your rankings. Like I said, I kind of went quickly on the college football review Week 10. So the NFL Week 9. The Jets beat the Texans on Thursday night actually. 21-13. Rodgers played the best game as a Jet. And could this mean much for the Jets? No. I still don't think the Jets are going to touch the playoffs at all. As for the Texans, they have one glaring flaw, and that is the offensive line. Stroud got sacked 8 times. That was bad. Very bad. You cannot have that performance if you have that franchise quarterback. And that might be something that the Texans want to address in the offseason. Got to address that line. Falcons beat the Cowboys 27-21. Dak Prescott will be out for a couple games due to the hamstring injury. The Cowboys have, in my opinion, been done already. They're even more done. They're not making the playoffs. Their season is over. While the Falcons seems to get a stepper ahead of the NFC South. Bills beat the Dolphins 30-27 on a game-winning field goal by Tyler Bass. Josh Allen continues to play well. Even though the Dolphins' offense has played well, wasn't enough to overcome the Bills. Bengals beat the Raiders 41-24. Burrow had a big day. Chase Brown carried the ball. Everybody had a big day in Cincinnati. The Raiders, it was a lost season for them. Chargers beat the Browns 27-10. So, Jameis Winston's first start, he throws for 4 touchdowns, I think. Then you get the turnover machine of Jameis Winston. Titans beat the Patriots 20-17 in overtime. Commanders beat the Giants 27-22 the week after the Hail Mary against the Bears, which the whole play is hilarious in my opinion. Panthers, yes, you won a game last week. Beat the Saints 23-22. This loss ended up costing Dennis Allen his job. He got fired a couple days earlier. Ravens crushed the Broncos 41-10. Eagles beat the Jaguars 28-23 on a clown show of a game where both of the coaches need to be fired. Both Peterson and Sirianni, they're both clowns. Cardinals beat the Bears handily 29-9. Lions continue to do Lions things for 2024. Beat the Packers 24-14. And the Lions got, I think it was Za'Darius Smith. It was from the Browns. I cannot think his first name on the top of my head. Which is I usually get this down. What's this guy's name? Let's see. Yeah, Zadarius Smith. Got him from Cleveland. And he's been productive throughout the most part. Got him. Trying to replace Aiden Hutchinson. So, we'll see how that goes. But the Lions, 7-1 start. As good as it gets. Rams beat the Seahawks in overtime 26-20. The Sunday Nighter, Joe Flacco, is back in. That made a difference this week. The Vikings just outclassed the Colts 21-13. And the Vikings, and Sam Darnold had some turnovers, but he was able to overcome it. The Colts offense just didn't do a damn thing all day. And if Richardson would have started, it would have been the same outcome regardless. Monday Nighter, the Chiefs probably had their best offensive performance all season. Their offense has actually been sluggish. But defense and clutch plays, they were able to beat the Bucs 30-24 in overtime. DeAndre Hopkins had his first big moment as a Chief. Bucs defense is garbage. The Bucs are playing well offensively despite no Godwin for the season and no Mike Evans allegedly till the bye week. So that is your week 9 review of the NFL season. So now, let's just preview some of these games. Ohio State, Purdue. Ohio State's going to destroy Purdue. Purdue is useless this year. They're less than useless. Miami and Georgia Tech. Miami is so weird this year. Miami has every single Miami game over the last month has been a track meet. I expect this game to be a track meet. I think Miami wins, but the first 3 quarters will be chaos. Florida and Texas. Texas will win easily. Georgia and Ole Miss. This is a big game for Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin needs to beat the big dogs. And what's a perfect time? Now. Carson Beck has been bad this year. There is not going to be much of a better opportunity to take out Georgia now. Will they do it? It's hard to say. It's at Oxford. I'll pull the trigger. I'll pull the trigger. I'll go with an Ole Miss. That's more of a gut feeling than kind of fake it more logically. But I'll take Ole Miss over Georgia. Michigan over Indiana. I think this will be a gritty kind of a game. But in the end, Michigan just doesn't have a quarterback. They just don't have the offense. Indiana will sell in the second half and they'll beat Michigan. That means Indiana will be 10-0. Can you believe that? Iowa State and Kansas. I'm going to go with Iowa State. Clemson and Virginia Tech. I think this game will be sneaky close. And I'm going to go with Virginia Tech upset. I think they'll upset Clemson. Army and North Texas. I'm going with Army. Colorado and Texas Tech. Colorado's offense has been very good this year. Their defense isn't bad. Like as bad as last year. It's going to be another one of those states. It's at Lubbock. Lubbock is going to go crazy. I think Texas Tech wins. Maryland and Oregon. Oregon's going to blow them out. Mississippi State, Tennessee. I'm going with Tennessee. Notre Dame's going to crush Florida State. Bama and LSU. This is going to be basically whoever loses this game is out of the playoff contention. No playoffs. No SEC championship game appearance. It's win and go home kind of scenario. It's at Baton Rouge, and you know games in Baton Rouge go crazy. It's hard to win at Baton Rouge at night. Because of that, my money's on LSU. Washington and Penn State. I think Penn State will bounce back. Boise State will blow out Nevada. Pitt will recover, beat Virginia. BYU versus Utah. This has... Man. Utah has been on a skid. And BYU is 8-0. But in rivalry games like this, this is the perfect trap game where Utah can knock off BYU. That will be my shocker. I'm going to go with Utah in this game. Utah has been on a skid. Their offense has done positively nothing. I think it's going to be a trap game for BYU. I'm going to go with a big upset, not just your typical upset. This will be a big upset. Utah over BYU. Washington State, Utah State, Washington State. Let's see what other unranked matchups. Let's see if any of these are worth kind of a quick review. Minnesota, Rutgers. I'll go Minnesota. Syracuse and Boston College. That could actually be a sneaky good game. I'm actually going to go with Boston College. Let's see what else we got here. South Carolina and Vanderbilt. This is going to be a good game. Who would have thought? I'm going to go with Vanderbilt. Literally because it's at Nashville. I think if Vanderbilt were to play South Carolina at Columbia, South Carolina would win. That's just my mindset. Oklahoma State, TCU. I'll go with TCU. I think Oklahoma State's finished. They're done. Man, Oklahoma State's been very disappointing. So that is the Week 11 preview of college football. Now let's preview the NFL's Week 10. Your first 8-9er, Bengals taking on the Ravens. If the Bengals want to really have a playoff shot, this is a must-win game. You cannot go 4-6. In the Ravens, they have this tendency to play down the competition. I don't think they do that here. I think they go and take care of business against Cincinnati. Bills taking on the Colts. This probably can be a competitive game. I just think the Bills are just better. They're a better team. Josh Allen is probably going to go nuts on that Colts secondary. So I'm going with the Bills. Giants and Panthers, the Munich game. Dear God. This might be a worse punishment than the Treaty of Versailles. Wow. Both teams suck. Giants. I'll go with the Giants. Both teams are terrible. Patriots and the Bears. I'm going to go with the Bears. Broncos and the Chiefs. I'll say Kansas City because it's at Arrowhead. If this game would have been played at Denver, I would have said the Broncos could steal one. That does not mean the Broncos are better than the Chiefs. Of course not. But in any given Sunday, a team can steal a win. I don't see that happening here. I think the Chiefs will take care of business. It'll probably be tight because the Chiefs have yet to dominate a team so far this year. So I'll go with Kansas City. Atlanta taking on the Saints. This could be a trap game for the Falcons because the Saints are going to be their interim head coach. And sometimes the interim head coach can just pull the win out of his ass just because the Rock Loom is kind of rallied. And their interim head coach is Darren Rizzi. He is the special teams coordinator. I don't know much of a trap game. I'm going to go with the Falcons. The 49ers and the Buccaneers. I'll have to say the Niners. The Niners are somewhat getting a little healthier. At least they have wide receivers and tight ends to throw to. The Buccaneers not so much, even though Baker Mayfield has lit the world on fire. I'm going to go with San Francisco. Steelers and the Commanders. Woo! That'll be a good game. That's going to be a good game. I think this is going to be a defensive struggle. I'm going to go Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh wins. I think Pittsburgh will win. I think their defense shuts Jay Daniels down. Daniels will probably play the worst game of his career so far. I'm going with the Steelers. Vikings and the Jags. I'm going to go with an upset here. I think the Vikings are a weird team. I have a feeling they'll play down to competition against the Jags, and the Jags will win. Even though the Jaguars have no business winning this game. I think they'll upset. You're going to see some upsets from time to time. That's going to be one of them. Titans and the Chargers, I'm not going to discuss. Chargers win. Eagles and the Cowboys. Oh. This could get interesting. The Eagles are superior talent-wise against the Cowboys right now. However, isn't there a coach that just finds ways to give opponents opportunities to win? That's Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni is a clown. He really is. I'm not the only one who says it. Everybody else has been saying it. They should have beat the Jags by multiple possessions. Like 2 touchdowns. Cooper Rush will make his start. CeeDee Lamb's kind of banged up. I'm going to say the Eagles win, but it will be a stupid win. It will be one of those fourth quarter chaoses. You're going to see some dumb plays. It will be chaos, but I think the Eagles will barely squeak. Jets taking on the Cardinals. This could go either way. The Cardinals have found ways to sneak games this year. The Jets, they're still disorganized. I'm going to have to go and say Arizona. I think Arizona will win. Sunday night, the Lions and the Texans. I'm going to have to say Detroit. I just cannot trust the Texans' offensive line. Even though without Hayden Hutchinson, with how bad their offensive line's played, C.J. Stroud's going to again have trouble. And eventually the Lions' offense will get like a key turnover and score on a short field. That's how I think Detroit wins. Monday Nighter, Dolphins and the Rams. I think this could be a 30 to 27 kind of game. Both offenses are healthy again. Both defenses are bad. But at the end of the day, I think Stafford's going to throw some kind of game-winning touchdown to either Puka Nacua or Cooper Kupp. Rams win in a surprise shootout. I think that game's going to be high scoring. Higher scoring than a lot of people would think of. So there is your episode of the current state of the college football games and the NFL games. Give you a recap of last week's and previewed this week's games. So that'll be it for this episode. Thank you for watching.